My name is Fernanda Soldateli. I'm from 89 FM, the Radio Rock in Brazil. I have some questions for you, and
Cool.
I'm very excited.
What
So
is
you
your name?
guys, Fernanda,
Your name?
Fernanda.
Fernanda?
Yes, that's perfect.
Fernanda.
Fernanda. Yeah.
Fernanda. Okay, cool.
So you guys are coming to Brazil for anniversary tour, and I want to know how has been revisiting this past and make this all big thing.
Um, it's just a continuation. I mean, it's not really an anniversary tour.
Mhm.
It's it just happens to be 40 years because we've been recording. We've made 11 studio albums, and the band is always working live. We haven't been to Brazil for 7 years, maybe.
Yes, I
Oh,
think
it's been
eight,
about 7 years. 8 years?
eight, ye-
No.
8
What? Oh,
years.
that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't think of this as an anniversary tour. Usually, to me, the anniversary tours is when somebody's retiring,
Okay,
and
yeah.
they have nothing left to say.
Okay.
So
So
I,
you guys have a
I
lot to say until
always
now.
yes,
Have Do you guys have plans to releasing something new this year? Maybe.
yes,
Can you
yeah.
tell?
We have some songs. It's just how we're going to release them because now everything is very different with albums, streaming.
Yes.
I think albums are
So,
dead. Pretty much albums are finished. Albums are dead. The
oh,
concept of making an album, I
yes.
like the idea of making, if you have a piece of music and it's fresh, put it out. You
And did you
do
like
something.
more this way of releasing music or the old ways, like with big albums and?
No, I like, well, many years ago, it was just a different format, different time, different format. Um, so you went with the format, and the format was to release albums, tour, radio, that kind of thing. Whereas now the format is very different, streaming. And I feel that's why there's so many individual artists now or duos who are making music in a much more digital environment, smaller environments. You know, the art of microphoning drum kits, guitar amplifiers is kind of dying because you can get a lot of plugins if you know anything about recording that mimic what studio engineers used to be experts at. Digital technology can now mimic that. So we're seeing the end of these incredible engineers and producers who worked in a very different environment. That's not to say that what is happening now is not important or uh, relevant in terms of the quality of what's being made, because there's some incredible music being made that's being done outside of large studios, being done in very small environments with digital technology. But I feel that the way that music is made now changes the way that people create. You know,
For sure.
uh, definitely rock musicians for the most part. If you're in a guitar-based band, like to be in the room together, bass, drums, guitars, vocals.
Yes.
Unless it's
And
something like, unless it's an artist who makes, for example, who is, some artists make is one guy, one girl. They make an album in their bedroom, and then they put a band together around it, and then they
yes,
present it like a band, but
yes.
really it's one person.
And talking about this new artist, there's some new
Yeah.
artists that you're looking for in rock, and you say this is really good music.
In rock, no, but not just rock. I mean, I think the genres are blending. You
Yeah,
see influence what people would consider to be rock music. It's a guitar-based music, right? So, but now we're seeing this in everything. We're seeing in many other genres, and we're seeing genres blend where all of a sudden artists are transcending genres. They're Like David Bowie was very much like that as an artist. He played different styles of music,
Yes, for
but it
sure.
always sounded like him. And growing up with Bowie, he was very important for me personally, influentially. And there's times when he made music that was very guitar strong, very guitar heavy. Periods of his career where he made guitar records, right?
Yes.
And then there was periods where it was much more electronic, or he was making soul records or experimental records. I love that. That's my favorite way to work, is multifaceted, you know, because we can make records that are very. We've made so many different styles of guitar music. We've made some of the records have been a lot heavier in terms of detuning and getting a heavier sound, but it's more of a reflection of the time that we were living in. So what we're doing now is, I guess it's much more, I don't want to say soundscapey, cinematic.
That's a good word.
Yeah, cinematic, I think is much better word. It's a bigger landscape.
Yes.
But there's still really tight rock songs, you know, from three chords based post punk, very simple songs. But I feel that once you've written maybe 100 of those songs, you might want to do something else.
Yeah,
Um,
why not?
yeah, why not? Why not? It's you have a life, you have a life journey, and you try and reflect that, you know, through your music.
Yes. And talk about life journey and how this tour have been reflecting in you. How has been doing this around the world and now coming to Brazil again?
Well, for me, Brazil. My father was in Brazil in the 1950s, so he used to tell me stories about Brazil because he was a sailor.
Yes.
My father was in the merchant navy, so he used to come to Brazil in the 1950s and tell me some pretty wild stories. When they used to get off the ship and go drinking, and yeah.
It's a
So
good party in Brazil.
yes, yeah. Brazilians know how to live.
For
When we were
sure.
younger, everything was overwhelming. You know, you're kind of, it's fresh, it's new, you're overwhelmed. But once you've traveled for many, many years, I feel I feel much more comfortable. Like I know Rio, I know Sao Paulo, I know, you know, Curitiba a little bit, but the energy of the people, the frequency of the city, the way it moves, I feel much more comfortable, you
Yes.
know? So for me, I'm looking forward to being in these environments, and everything we do now is for the performance, for the space, you know, for the ritual space of performing. That is where we concentrate our energy. You know, if we get a day off, it's incredible.
Did you
You
have
know,
a
if we get a
day
day
off
off,
here in São Paulo?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's
I
sad.
don't think we do. No. And this is the way. This is the way when you're touring. Is this happens? You go through some. People look at your tour dates, say, "That's incredible. You're going to these amazing cities." I say, "But we won't see them.
Yeah.
We
It's
do
just
not see
play and
them."
go.
Sometimes it is. You arrive in the evening. You have travel day. You arrive in the evening. Maybe go get some food. Get some rest. Maybe work out. Maybe if there's a show, go to a show. Maybe a movie, something like this. And then the following day, you get up. I stay pretty quiet during the day. Maybe I go to an art gallery during the day, and then but try and keep all my energy for the show.
Yes.
Um, there's a lot of preparation before a show, you know.
And
To
you have
say,
come to Brazil many times. Do you see the
yeah,
difference on Brazilian audience and other audience around the world?
yeah. Global audience is changing. Of course, technology has changed everything.
Yes.
It will continually evolve. Um, Cell phones became something, you know, concerts. Initially, you'd see a couple of phones. Now you see some concerts where it's just everybody has a phone. Everybody's holding up the phone. Everybody's recording the show. And then I have to help them realize they're missing the show. You're missing the moment.
Yes.
You're missing this. You're missing the experience of the moment. Because what are you going to end up with? The memories. I personally like real photographs. I like real film.
Yeah.
Like actual photographs that you can look at, you know, in your hand, tactile. But on your phone scrolling, after a while it becomes, your brain melts.
If you could do a show without cell phones, would you?
Yeah, and it'd be a lot better. I know it'd be a better experience for the audience. It'd be a better experience for us, it'd be a better experience for everybody.
Yeah.
I know because I've done shows without phones.
And
they're far superior in every way. Because people are present. People are present. It's like fully present. And phones are incredibly distracting.
for sure.
A lot of performers don't like them. A lot of performers don't like them. A lot of people in the audience don't like them. You know, if you're standing there trying to watch or get into it and somebody's standing right there in front of you with a phone held up, you can't see through the phone.
Yeah.
This is the wall of phones. So the format of digital technology and immediacy in the culture with phones and everything is changing the way music is being made.
Yeah.
It's changing the way culture is being perceived.
Do you think
Yeah.
nowadays people make more music thinking about go viral than really make
Yeah.
art?
I think that's a very important component. You can tell. You can tell that artists are very conscious of aesthetic while they're making their music. You can tell. You can sense
Yes.
that the one eye is on the, how is this going to look? How is this going to be perceived? Almost immediately.
Yes. And talking about the show here in São Paulo, in the Vibra, what the fans can expect from it?
What can they expect from a cult show?
Yeah, from the show now they're going to present maybe a special participation with a
Hey, if
Brazilian
people haven't
artist.
seen a special, but no, we're enough.
You, for sure. You're obviously enough.
We're we're enough. We don't need any help or support from any special guests. That's so boring. Usually it's boring. I've seen some shows where they bring out and now we're going to choose a special guest, and it's like, and it's just a dud, doesn't make it any better. And usually a lot of artists do that when they run out of ideas as well. They need the validation to have some young famous artists come and perform with them. It's so contrived. No, we're enough. We'll bring it. We'll bring the heat. I mean, this is what we do. This is what I've been doing since I was 19.
Yes.
We're good at this. We are good at this. You know what I mean? We don't need help. If I need help, I quit.
That's an important phrase, for sure.
Yeah, footballers know when to leave the field. You get to a certain, your energy's gone, there's no life force. It's time to leave. Go do something else. Go gardening.
I heard that you like a lot football. And you know
football.
and you know a lot of Brazilian teams about football. Have you ever had the chance to see a live game?
I've seen the only Brazilian game. I saw Flamengo play River Plate in Copa Libertadores in Buenos Aires.
And how was it? Did you like?
Oh, incredible. I've seen Brazil play in the World Cup.
Yeah.
I was at World Cup final in '94. I saw them play in 2006. Went to some Brazil international games.
And just your relation with football and music and rock.
Yeah, do you know we gotta start breaking down what rock. It's just a word.
Okay.
Like now is they say, oh, they're a rock star. Like an accountant is a rock star. A 4-year-old girl that learns to ride a bicycle is a rock star. They don't even know what it means. It sounds good. It sounds like a marketing thing. Or party like a rock star. you want to really party like a rock star? Most of the rock stars that partied are dead. You know,
That's a big point.
it's an existentially brutal. If you're truly channeling and are empathetic to the environment where you're drawing your inspiration from, it's very difficult to ground yourself unless you have a practice. And what I mean by a practice is you study philosophy, martial arts, maybe you have religious philosophy, existential, quantum, whatever you're into. And if you have that, it can help ground you as an artist, as a performer, as a writer, right? If you're an entertainer, which is kind of different for me, entertainment's different. You learn the moves, you learn the chords, you can sing at pitch, you have good energy. Okay, it's entertaining. It's like Disney, you know?
Yes.
It's distraction. We don't do that.
Okay.
We do something different. Fully aware that at some point I'm going to drop dead. We will drop this body. So while I'm in this body, I want to get the most out of it that I can, and also reflect the lived experience. Through the medium of music, and I love music.
Yeah.
I love football because I grew up with football. I was, played in the street when I was a kid, and there's a real mystique who have this incredible gift for vision and creativity, and they come along every now and again. A player will come along that's incredibly mystifying, like Pele is probably the greatest of all time, of course. And he was very important to me when I was growing up as a kid. I looked at him and I thought, it's impossible what he does. But then I tried to copy his style of play when I would see him. And we didn't have cell phones and YouTube. So
Yes.
if you have the play on TV or whatever, you try and remember his movements. And that style of play was all part of creativity and, an incredible gift to the world. So he was as important to me as Bowie or Sex Pistols or Lou Reed or, I didn't see a separation or a difference. They were channeling something else.
It's amazing. Oh, Ian,
It is amazing.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
It is
Ian,
amazing.
thank you so much for this talk. It was a pleasure having you here. And I hope you can come to the radio here in São Paulo. We are waiting for you.
Really?
Yes, for sure. You're always welcome. We have
When you come
coffee, tea, water. What more you want? I can get you.
Welcome to the radio station.
Okay, so
But
I'm waiting.
I think we're playing on a Sunday. Is that cool?
Is that perfect? You can come whenever you want.
Maybe we do that before the show. That'd be cool.
That'll be very cool.
Because we're playing in Rio de Janeiro the day before.
Yes.
So we'll probably maybe we can come by the radio station for like an hour or something.
Yes, that's perfect.
That'd be cool. Will you be there?
For sure. I'll be waiting you.
You know how we are with the Brazilians, right? The cult. We have a relationship.
Yes. And that's why you need to come here. You need to talk with the listeners of the radio.
Yeah. We're not tourists. I mean, we're not coming through. I never think, it's weird. Everybody thinks of, in Europe, Americans, whatever. For them, Brazil is maybe in a different planet. For us, I feel so at home. I feel so, I can breathe out and I'm like, it's like, they get it. They get us. You guys, the Brazilians they get the band. They understand. You understand me? Even when I was playing with the Doors in Brazil, speaking with Manzarek and Krieger, they were like, we had no idea that people were this passionate about music. I'm like, yeah. Oh, yeah.
For
They're
sure.
not always buying things. They're not always buying things or, you know,
Yes.
they're not always consuming. These people are passionate. They dance, they move, they're fully engaged in living, you know?
Yeah.
And that's really exciting. I mean, I know the last show we played with I think it was Allianz Stadium. Was it?
Hello, Ian?
Hi.
Hi, you fall, but you're back.
Is it okay? Yeah, I have to go now to martial arts training.
Okay.
I go
So
to the dojo.
when you get for the radio, I can get you a Brazilian ID that is called CPF. Then you'll be already a Brazilian.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be dope. That'd be really, really cool.
We'll make
Yeah, my
you
father
a
told me.
CPF.
No, seriously, my father was like told me amazing stories about Brazil when I was a kid, so I had this mystical idea of Brazil. But my first real experience was seeing probably, you know, football and then when we first came there touring, I was just wow. It was incredible. Just incredible energy. I miss that energy. It feels to me like in especially in the United States, the North America, the energy of rock shows is so different. It's so different.
Yeah.
It's not no, I don't know.
Brazilians are
Yeah.
here. And this is our power. So thank you so
That's the
much.
Brazil superpower.
Yeah, it's the Brazil superpower. And I'm waiting you here on the radio. Okay, we arrange
Tutubai?
that.
Tutubai?
Yes.
How do you say it? Tutubai?
Tudo bem?
How do you say it? Tutubai.
Tudo
Tutubai.
bem. Yeah, perfect Portuguese.
Tutubai.
Your Portuguese is
Tutubai.
perfect. Tudo
Obrigado.
bem.
Tutubai. Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Bom dia. Bom dia. Bom dia.
Can you say, eu sou brasileiro?
Eu sou brasileiro.
Yeah, that's mean I'm
Is that
Brazilian.
like eu sou brasileiro.
Yeah.
Brasileiro.
Brasileiro.
I am Brazilian.
Yeah.
I wish I could play football like Brazilians are. Yeah. I have a
wish
special
that
story
too.
to tell you though. When Pele retired, it broke my heart. I remember
Really?
crying. Yeah, and I was like 14 or 15. And he
Right.
was playing for the New York Cosmos. I remember it was his last game. I remember being so destroyed as a kid. I thought the world had ended. It was incredible. It had such a profound effect on me.
Yes.
Because I was an immigrant kid. So I grew up in Canada, right? So football and music were the only things I had that were always with me. So I was always, when I went to Canada as a kid, even when I lived in Scotland and England, I was always treated like an outsider. And football and music were always global, international, broke down boundaries. I love Muhammad Ali, he's a boxer, you know.
Yes.
These guys that came out and just broke down boundaries, like crushed boundaries.
You know what? You need to play football here in Brazil.
I can't.
Play. Why?
I'm crashed from playing football. I haven't played football for quite a while. I train martial arts.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's hard. It's also hard.
It's hard.
It's very hard.
It's really hard. I'm going now to train. And then tomorrow I train. And then I have a day, probably like massage day or something. But my son, I have a 9-month-old son.
Yes.
He keeps me busy.
I can think about it. I can imagine.
Do you have children?
No, I haven't. I am 20 years old. Not yet.
Okay. Okay. There's plenty of time.
Yeah, there's a plenty of time.
Plenty of time. I'd say enjoy being 20.
Yes, I'll have.
Yeah, cool.
So thank you so much, Ian. We'll see you on the radio. And have a great show here in São Paulo. I'll be there for sure.
Thank you. And let us know about the
Ixi. Ian? Ian?
I
I'm
can
still-
hear you, but I don't know if Fernanda can.
Oh, okay.
Fernanda.
Now I can hear you. I think iPhone.
It's okay. It's
Okay, I'm
technology.
back.
It's cool. Thank you, Fernanda.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
We'll
Have
see
a
you.
good time.
Bye-bye. Obrigado.
Obrigada.
89. A Rádio Rock.